Northbrook's 125th anniversary will officially be on November 18th, 2026, which marks 125 years since the date November 18th, 1901, which is the date that the measure was passed to officially incorporate Northbrook, which at the time was called Schirmerville, as a village. It doesn't mark the time that the village was officially settled because European settlers had been living in the area since the 1830s and 1840s, and of course, Native Americans had been living here for generations earlier. But the date marks the time when the village kind of became a village in the sense that we understand it now, kind of officially became a village. So it's an important milestone in our village's history, and it's something we should celebrate. I was born in Northbrook. I grew up here. In terms of my connection to the Historical Society, I first became a volunteer here around a little over 4 years ago when I started volunteering at the archives as I was doing research on the history of Glenbrook North for a project I was doing at the high school. The Northbrook Historical Society has always been a part of my life, and of course, Northbrook also has always been a part of my life. The number one thing I would highlight is how welcoming the community is and how friendly the community is and how much we love our neighbors in the community. Northbrook is, just a super friendly town and a great place to live and a place where you definitely want to raise your children, and I can't think of a better town. To keep with the theme that we're talking about for this celebratory year, which is history hidden in plain sight, I think that is what is so surprising about Northbrook's history. That's the benefit of living in an older town, right? That literally everything in Northbrook has an amazing story behind it. Even something as seemingly simple as the water that we drink. I mean, we are the only offshore suburb to get our water directly from Lake Michigan, and the story of how that happened is really fascinating. There's a cemetery, a really old one, that has the earliest pioneers of our village buried there, and it's under the intersection of Sanders and Dundee roads. So we drive over that intersection every day, and there's literally this incredible history quite literally beneath our feet. These are just some examples of history hidden in plain sight, and I think that when you start to share those details with people, people are really surprised because they see these things and they don't know how much history is around them, but when we talk about it, when we share it, it's just wonderful and people love it. So one of my favorite buildings in terms of its historical quality is Crestwood Place. So now it's a housing space for older people in Northbrook. That was actually the building in which the first high school was in Northbrook, which predated Glenbrook North. Much of the original facade is still the same. That's one of those moments where you can really put a historical picture side by side to what you're looking at right now, and you can see that they're exactly the same. So it's really almost like this real window into the past that you can experience right now. Rather than there being one thing that everyone should know about, I think that it's important for each person to learn about the history of something that they're really interested in. So maybe that's the history of their house. I mean, at the Northbrook Historical Society archives, we have a lot of real estate records, and people love learning about, when their house was built, who were the previous owners, seeing the old pictures of their house. Big idea that comes to mind when I think about the 125th anniversary is the idea of change. As people, we don't like to deviate from the familiar. It's kind of scary. But change is a wonderful thing. And when I read through our book that we wrote for the centennial, The Fabric of Our History, I read it and I think, wow, 25 years have passed since 2001. And the amount of change that we have had in the town is enormous. I mean, I think we kind of need to write another chapter for our book, I hope that people will celebrate the village and reflect on all the wonderful things that have happened. I hope that reflecting on the developments that have happened in town will encourage people to be very optimistic for the future, because I think that Northbrook has a wonderful future ahead.